Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 here up in the Northeast, also known as Red Team, ending with Team 2, also known as Blue Team in the Southwest. Starting off with the easternmost player on Team 1, it is Kefka going first line as a Cyber, and he is a shy bit under 1400 rating at 1397. Again, going at Cyber first land in Ruby Red. To his west in Chevy Crimson, we have Findeed going first land as a UEF. He is slightly below 1600 at 1595. And he is, again, going UEF first land. And last but not least, here for Team 1 in the West, it is Ghostly Monkey going first land as another Cypern here for his team. He is slightly below 1300 at 1288 as Orange, the color orange, going second air. So for Team 1 side of things, they have two Cyberns flanking a UEF in the middle, which means they do not have access to Aeon or Seraphim technology. Down here in the south, starting up with the easternmost player on Team 2, it is the Amethyst Purple player of Hannibalo going first land as the first Seraphim to introduce in this game. He is going first land, second land, third air, and he is slightly above a 1400 rating at 1410. To his west in Royal Blue, we have Call going first land as a UEF. He's going first land, second air, third and fourth land. He is in the middle between 14 and 1500 rating at 1456. And last but not least here, the only Aeon in the game already on the move to the northeast, it is Sailor Moon. He's going first land, like I said, as an Aeon. He is above a 1400 rating at 1421, going first land, second air as well in Stitch Blue. So for Team 2 side of things, we have one Aeon, one Seraphim, and one UEF, which means they do not have access to Cybern technology, but they do have access to Seraphim and Aeon, which Team 1 does not have access to. So all of the races are represented in the game overall, but Team 1 and Team 2 obviously lacking one or more of those different factions. Let's go ahead and talk about Reclaim before our players scoop it all up. We have currently still on the map 8,600 Reclaim, which for a 3v3, so 6-player in total game, that's a decent amount of Reclaim per player. Let's see, 116. That's about 12, a little over 1,200 mass per player to scoop up. That is a decent amount of mass. A lot of upgrades, units, structures, whatever the case may be for those players to decide where that mass ends up being siphoned off to. And in terms of mass points, there's honestly not a whole lot of groupings. We have a Trimex position here in the south and in the northwest, which is where Ghostly is going to. There are a couple of mexes in the rear, corners here. There are a decent mechs lineup here on the east and the west for both, obviously for both teams. A couple of one-offs and a couple of mexes in the middle. So I do feel like a lot of players, obviously I think Team 2 or Blue Team's going to have a nice, defensive line here. Same thing here in the west. Both teams will probably have some comms in the middle between, going back and forth for those 4 mexes. And then, of course, defensive lines here and here. So there's probably not going to be a lot of fighting over mexes, more trying to either deny early mexes or just holding position and calling it good. We do see a transport out from Team 1's Ruby Red player, of Kefka, with some engineers on board going for some reclaim here to deny it against their opponents, and then a couple of units going after some expansion mexes in the east. I guess you might be able to classify this as a Trimex position, but I don't really know about that. The transport does get spotted by those Team 1 units out from Team 2's Hannibalo. Those engineers will be immediately killed off. There is a small plateau section. This engineer will be fine for now, but I would not be surprised to see maybe a couple of Zooey or even just a T1 bomber come out and take out that engineer. And those engineers are going into the rear. There is a engineer outbound for Hannibalo as well, but this engineer will get there before it does. 2 of the 3 comms are on the western side of the map for Team 2, with Hannibalo approaching on the eastern side. Team 1 following suit. Team 1 actually using the little pawns here in the middle, the way to hide their commander and get him safely across to the center of the map. And we do see a couple of pawns in the, each north, south, east, west sides of the map for Maybe some hiding. Maybe we'll see a T2 naval facility outbound for the Cybern players in the north, or some of those Salems, or just cruisers in general. Maybe we'll see those UEF cruisers. Maybe. I mean, the hard thing about these pawns is the fact that because they're so in the middle and they are so small, that they have not a whole lot of sphere of influence, and they can easily be shot at from ground units. So it's definitely a risk. You really want to have this for just denial. If Team 2 takes this eastern side right here, then I could see them using this. Same thing here, of course, in the west for Team 1. But if you have enemy units up here, you know, on this upper plateau, you can easily put some artillery mobile units up there, or missiles, and just start raining stuff in. So definitely going to be a defensive operation if it is going to be some of those naval facilities there. We do have that quad production base here for Kefka. He had some intrusion from some purple units outbound from Hannibal, but he does have a T1 bomber doing a lot of work to be able to deal with those pretty well quickly. We do see some calm on calm action in the middle of the map between Call and Finn Dead. Not Hannibal, but Call and Findeed. But it's like Indeed, except with an F at the beginning of it. We have a speed upgrade going on here for Sailor Moon. He'll probably go for range next. And Ghostly has not started on his any upgrades as of yet. Love the essentially the the mirror going on here in the middle of the map. Both of the middle players have gone for a nice little radar up top. We have a nice amount of intel gathering. Of course, they know where the comm is, and obviously vice versa here for Team 2. You can see that, you know, exactly what they can see, but they can't see where the comm went. Team 1 still can, but he is staying. It looks like he will just pop into the water and leave. Team 2 will gain a little bit of control of the middle for now. And there is a lot of raiding going down here in the east. Both players in the west kind of just wanted to hang out and just kind of, you know, just going for upgrades, hanging out, taking in the views, not really worrying about a whole lot. The more building up, I would love to see more mexes come out here. He is lining them up as we speak, but we can see the advantage that Team 2's player has, that he has his mexes under control. There's a couple of T1 Aurora, and I think there was a artillery as well to kind of just push a little bit, but not really a huge threat in that regard here to the orange player of Ghostly. Team 2 has full control of the middle of the map for the time being. Both players are, you know, indeed can easily pop out of the water, take out those mexes, and pop back in if he really wants to. Upgrades do finish here for both players on the west. That range upgrade did get built, and the gun upgrade did finish here for Ghostly. So both players ready to fight one another. Love this little radar installation here in the west by Sailor Moon. You can see a decent amount of that front line, obviously more of the front line with his front line radar as well. So I love that dual facility, being able to see more of that western side, be able to predict where his opponent is going to move. T1 bomber over the top, going to be shot up by some AA units. Actually, he's going to keep going in deep and will be shot down anyways. Definitely could have landed a couple of kills on those units had he been given the order to do so. More facilities are being built by the comm of Kefka, pumping out all those units. And Team 2's Hannibal is going to charge forward. It's about the same amount of units per player, but Hannibal having some disagreements with some little terrain. The Mantis trying to hide behind it, but those FAMs and other units went around and deal with that right quick. All the Mantis group up, waiting for an attack. Kefka needs to move his comm forward to deal with this. These units are going to fall back, and Hannibal alone is going to push forward with the units probably going to come in to assist here pretty soon. Vindeed has popped out of the water, taking out one of those mexes. We'll take out the other one. Carl is building an upgrade as we speak. What is he building? He sent units, sent mass, starting T2. So he's going for T2. Probably going to go for maybe some PD along the edge here. Speed and range going all the way here for Kefka in the east. Comm on comm action starting to happen in the west. Both Ghostly and Sailor Moon really getting at it, dropping both of those comms into the yellow. And of course they were cannot shoot at that Cybern Commander at range because the Cybern Commander outranged them just a little bit. So you can see the range popping into range there. There it goes. Kills that other unit. More units coming into range. That's definitely not the best idea to be feeding that commander. Some veterans see both one above, you know, 30, not 35%, 75%. And Sailor Moon actually going to go for shield, not for advanced range. Very interesting. We do see in the east, Hannibalo is pushing his forces once again against those group of Mantis. There's some artillery in there to take out those standing by units. Kefka going for gun. Did that pretty quickly, so he'll have gun now versus the non-upgraded commander of Hannibalo. Field again still progressing, and both comms essentially in the water. Well, not essentially air quotes in the water. Brawl has finished his upgrade. He's just kind of hanging out. And the comm of Hannibalo does charge forward without any assistance right next to him. Kefka's going to seize the moment and try to cut off the retreat of that commander. Kefka's going to get some nice veterancy out of this. He needs some desperately. Hannibalo is at 750 out of 1,000, so he's pretty close. He really wants to get that first upgrade. Again, each veterancy is 10% health and a little bit more regen, so that is definitely very vital to get, especially in the early games, for more survivability. T3 Air online here for Team 1's Findeed. Team 2 upgrading the T3 Air as we speak. Almost there. About 5% left to go. Team 1 slightly ahead. Already has their T3 Fusion as well, so they are decently ahead. I would like to see him get a bomber out there to try to use that advantage while he has it. But, some players notice it, some players don't. But now we have a very interesting scenario going on. We have Team 1's Kefa pushing west, while Hannibal pushing on the west side of the east. And we have Hannibal being forced into the east. Nice little rock formation over there to be scooped up. But this does allow for Kefka to get some reinforcements into that back line, not back line, but supply line, and try to cut off any reinforcing units. But a couple of T2 Ilshis are on station, and that is definitely going to force him back a little bit at a minimum. Ilshis, again, very, very annoying unit to deal with, of course, because, well, they just are annoying, and that's just annoying to deal with, of course. We do see in the west, Team 1's Ghostly is pushing up against Salem Moon, who is upgrading to his shield. Ghostly is trying to, prevent that upgrade, but is not going to be successful. There's so much of support around Sailor Moon. It's really not going to work out. That upgrade will finish off and will fill up that shield capacity it does instantly fill, never mind. But anyway, it does get finished off. Team 2's Call builds a T2 Triad up here. It takes out a Mechs and a couple of other facilities. The Intel installation is down, but I don't know if it's that worth it. That Triad is close enough to the edge where it can fire down at enemy units. Very well placed PD there. It does eliminate a lot of those units inbound before they even cause an issue. T2 on the way here for Finn as well in the north. That comm of Ghostly still being pushed back by Sailor Moon, but Sailor Moon has lost the capacity on his shield just due to the fact that it's been, taken out. That's the regen. Those rhinos now appearing here for Team 1's Ghostly. Those T2 tanks, lots of hit points on those things. Aurora only have 155 versus the 1900 of the rhinos, so definitely a mismatch, at least in HP at a minimum in that regard. A couple of units did break off from the main group in the north here for Kefka. We're eliminated by a decent amount of Ilshis, and those Ilshis are getting pretty there's a lot of them. They're getting a lot of numbers, a lot of recruits here on this eastern side. Couple of tickle cannons might be able to hold off the first couple of T1 units, but as those Ilshis come into range, they are not going to take any sort of nonsense. You can see you should probably be focusing on the Ilshi. There goes a couple of engineers assisting with the shield. Shield does finish off. Kefka needs to deal with this sooner rather than later. T1 PD trying to come online to assist in defensive measures, but that shield is falling very, very quickly. 1 PD is online, trying to take out those Ilshis. Takes out 2 of them. The Ilshis have a decent amount of range, and they actually move in a little bit closer. T1 interceptors trying to deal with any sort of bombers raining in overhead. And again, there is a T2 flak cannon as well, which means it takes out those bombers very, very quickly. Tickle cannons are doing a decent amount of job of holding off the incoming threat, but more Ilshis are on the way, and Team 1's Kefka knows it and is deciding to just abandon all hope and move back northward. But Team 1 has gained a little bit of ground in the west. Huge reclaim field for him to scoop up. Definitely Team 2 Sailor Moon probably upset about that. It's not looking good here for Team 2 looking for Team 1 because of Team 2 on this eastern side without, just absolute nice squat or 2 of Ilshis. More PD is being built. There's a there's a Ilshi right here. Kefka could easily take that out by himself. But there it goes. There goes the overcharge into that chassis of that bot. And more are being built. You can just see they're just being rinsed by just everything, essentially. The Ilshis can take out almost anything. Obviously, 1,000 of anything can kill anything. But, you know, I mentioned this a lot. Ilshi's very, very powerful. Now we can see if Kefka is being bombarded by Ilshi fire. Ilshi's actually focused on the T1 units. And yeah, that takes out some support, but could have done a huge number to the comm itself. Hannibal going to push forward with his commander, gets a rank in veterancy, but he's going to get more hit points. But of course, he's facing off against a 2-star comm of Kefka with guns, so Hannibal has to be very careful on this eastern side. We have some ASFs flying around for both teams here. We don't see any sort of bombers as of yet. I would have loved to see a bomber or two be flying around, you know, team against team 1 in the west or team 2 in the east, trying to just do some damage. But again, Kefka's still not falling back, at least for the time being. Mantis constantly throwing at their opponents to try to hold them off. Kefka is in the yellow, sub 10,000 hit points, and Hannibal now raining in fire at him constantly. He needs his own T2 units to combat this. Kefka needs to keep moving or he's dead, but at this point I think he's dead no matter what he does. Falling very, very quickly. Gets a nice rank in veterancy, back up to 8,000 hit points. Hannibal at 10,000. Ilshi's constantly raiding him. Another one is dead, and this is it. This is it for Kefka. He's dropping into the red. He should have been retreating the entire time. Didn't do so, and unfortunately that is going to be a kill here for Team 2 at 16-16 in this game. It is awarded to Hannibal in the east, and is now a 3v2 in favor of Team 2 or Blue Team. Advanced range going down here in the west for Sailor Moon. We did see Stealth and Nano now finished here for Team 1's Ghostly, going for cloaking. Give me a nice little invisible Cybern in the west, and now we see that Finn gets control of the eastern side of the map. He's doing the exact same trick that his opponent did, putting some triads here on this upper plateau and shooting them down at his opponent, getting some shields to protect them, that investment. But Ilshi's going to start ripping through frontline facilities, and it's not looking good here for Team 1 on this eastern side here at 17 minutes in this game. They need some sort of comeback. They need some sort of either just quit the game, all lost, just quit the game. Cloaking canceled, says Ghostly. Obviously, that's an auto message. Don't know what he's doing. I don't think it's over yet. And obviously, by the timestamp, you definitely know it's not over. I mean, Team 2 is gaining a lot of ground, but honestly, they don't have a lot of infrastructure to fall back to. So if these units retreat, the only thing closest is right here. All the ground that they'll gain isn't going to last very long unless they can hold it. Team 2 holding the middle of the map definitely does not help Team 1 out. They're going to be hemmed in the middle and the east. And now we see a missile outbound here from Call, going after some mechs here. He's already taken out one of them. Another one is going to be taken out here pretty soon. Ghostly needs to get some TMD online, or it's not going to feel good here pretty soon. There you go. Might even get an engineer. Does get an engineer kill with that as well. That's just a nice little bonus. And that is definitely going to hurt Team 1's eco. And let's talk about eco here really quickly. Team 2 at 305, so 300 rounded down. Team 1 at 270 rounded up. So 30 mass, 40 mass difference here between the teams. And this isn't terrible, but isn't great. Obsidian's now appearing here for Sailor Moon, trying to replicate their leader of the ACU with the shield on board that tank. Very, very annoying unit. They're the other T2.5 unit in this game. Just super tanky. Especially, I mean, they are tanks, but just in general, they're super tanky because of the shield and the whatnot. Rhinos are starting to rip through them, and Aurora coming in to assist. Team 1's comm is nowhere in sight, which means all this veterancy goes to Sailor Moon's commander. He's getting a lot of points for that 2nd star upgrade, and it's going to be very nice for him. He already has one. He probably actually will get a second one by the end of this, so again, making it harder for Team 1 to kill Team 2. But Ilshis have pierced through the entire eastern side and going after main facilities in the rear here. A couple of loyalists have been blitzed down to assist in defenses, and they might just get another PD, and they will get it, and they will do a lot of damage to surrounding loyalists. There it goes, takes out half of their HP. More coming online as we speak. Ilshis, again, like I said, very, very annoying. Transport in the east with an Autumn on board. This is going to wreak havoc on the rear infrastructure here. Oh, but will it land? No, it won't, and that does get shot down, unfortunately, here Team 1 noticed that at the last second. Now we see Ilshi's moving into the west, taking out other facilities and defenses. Triads are being spammed up as well for defensive measures. Triads obviously better at taking stuff out. Bomber been built here by Team 2's air player, gets sniped out of the air by those ASFs. Look at the damage and carnage here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mexes and a couple of P-gens. Of course, Team 1, of course, has P-gens in the form of T3, but still losing power is not something you want to constantly do because eventually you will run out. In the rear, air facilities are being built here by Team 2's air player, just trying to fan out that air grid more and more. And, of course, T3 land is on the cards here for us. I think everyone at this point, yeah, everyone has T3 land. So not really going to be deficit in that regard. But at 20 minutes in this game, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win the game overall. Team 1 has 2 players left. Team 2 has all 3 players left. Team 1 at 2, almost 300 mass per second. Team 2 at 350 mass per second. So they're definitely in the lead with that. Map control is residing with Team 2 for the most part. There is some pushback in the west. And, of course, it's just, I mean, if I was a betting man at this point, maybe I'd say Team 2. But again, the game can flip on a dime, and that could, this eastern side could collapse, this western side collapse, and, that could essentially flip the game for either team. So it's too early to tell definitively, but there is a slight advantage for Team 2 in regards to map control and, of course, players left and mass per second. So again, don't count out Team 1 yet. But Team 2 looks like, at least at the moment, the more favored to win. The Calm of Sailor Moon is pushing forward with his own Asylum. So trying to, again, get some nice little hit points on his Calm as well. Again, 3,500 can make the difference between a death and surviving. That Asylum will get taken out by a missile trying to protect his ACU leader, but he's going to keep pushing. There are some bricks in this mess. One brick gets immediately wiped out by that overcharge. Ouch, that's got to hurt. And, of course, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down below, share this video with your friends, and obviously thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. We have a group of Loyalists in the east here for Team 1's Finn, taking out a lot of T2 mechs as they've broken that front line, and this is the downside with not having any infrastructure, is it's only units trying to go back and forth, and it's really easy to slip units by. They could have gone in. I don't think they can go into the water, so they had to have gone just straight down and take out a decent amount of infrastructure. There is a sniper bot nearby. Those loyalists would be very, very smart to take that out as well because, well, they are, very weak and they have a long range, and it'd be very nice to take those up. But some loyalists break off from the main group, take out some T2 mechs. There are a couple of Authams trying to chase them down. Authams are not going to catch up to those loyalists. Sniper bots aren't even either. But Authams are building up here in the east as well. These mechs is going to be killed off. I wouldn't be surprised if they shoot back northward, take out that mechs, and then go around and maybe even go after the main base here for Hannibal. That could be big here for Team 1. And in the northeast, we have bricks pushing back those Ilshis. Essentially, you can tell the difference between the T3 and the T2. The T2, again, rapid fire, decent amount of hit points, very annoying. T3, lots of hit points, slower, but also fire very quickly. So Ilshis essentially are the not dumber down version of T3 bricks, but they're the cheaper version of the brick. I guess that'd be the word that I would use. And those loyalists are going to run headfirst into those Authams, and those loyalists are going to be cut down. There's even a broadsword coming in to assist. They'll kill probably 2 of them. Those EMP weapons are going to be very annoying for those Authams to deal with, but they do get 1 kill. The loyalists get 1 kill in that regard. So, was it worth it? I would say so. It took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if that one counted. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mexes. That's a ton of mexes, and essentially both teams now roughly tied for mass income. Team 1 still having troubles trying to puncture the front lines here in the west. Missiles raining down constantly. Of course, the Aeon player here, Sailor Moon, does have access to Volcanoes, the best TMD in the game. And it does look like there is another distance build coming out from Carl. And I don't know if it's going to do a lot of damage, but it definitely will annoy Team 1 at a minimum. Neither team has gone for any sort of naval facilities. A couple of bombers out in the west and a couple of bombers running right over that comm. Comm loses all of its shield capacity, but still is forcing back these units outbound from Ghostly Monkey in the west. Is that going to be enough T1 bombers to take out that Mechs? No, 100 hit points left. Just needed one more bomber in that mix. Oh, the bomber might be able to. Nope. It was close. It was close. Needed about 2 or 3 more seconds. And not even probably that. Needed like a couple seconds. That actually a couple is 2. So anyway, needed like at least a minimum of a second to reload those bombs. But took out the T1 mass storages, but didn't actually get the kill. Definitely unfortunate here for Team 1. And Team 1 actually being forced back as well constantly here on this western side. Sailor Moon being very, very annoying and not letting up any ground. Defensive measures have been built to defend any sort of run-bys or whatnot here on the eastern side here by Team 1's Finn. He's gone for T3 engineering suite on his commander, going for Ras as well. He's starting to build a Fat Boy, and his air grid is being fanned out as we speak. I mean, he's building more and more engineers. Maybe he's going to build a monkey. We haven't seen any experimentals built as of yet. But I don't see any plans to build one. Usually they're kind of a little bit far forward. Nothing up here. Nope, nobody has started to build an experimental as of yet. I mean, you could easily build a monkey underneath the water, but no, that's not what anybody's doing. Yeah, no experimentals, 26 minutes. I mean, it is a ladder match. It is 3v3. It's pretty normal for the most part, but no one's even started one. That's kind of rare that we don't even see one started. We do see a couple of Authams on some T2 transports. When they're going to start being kind of, thrown behind enemy lines. And more of them are just being sent forward. I think they're going to just support the eastern flank for now. This group of Authams can easily push back that brick wall. And engineers for Team 1 are just constantly getting reclaim here. You can look at the reclaim. It's essentially tied between both teams in general, about 33,000 to 31,000. Not a whole lot of difference. Team 2 has accrued a tiny bit more mass. They have been in the lead for a long time, and I think are still in the lead. So that would explain it. But Team 1 is right on their heels. And I think I'm going to speed it up just a little bit because it's kind of a slow period. Okay, here comes that Autham over the middle. Oh, this would be a great grab going after that Omni facility. T3 air does not take it out in time. Transport does die off. But those Authams are going to get that kill on that Omni. This is a great move here by Team 2. We do see some, ASFs and spy planes overhead, and that Omni is down. Huge value out of those 2 Authams. Huge amount of value. We'll actually get a T2 Mechs upgrade into T3. It will, again, just increase the value more and more. Team 1 has a decent amount of ASFs. Oh, actually, a lot more than probably Team 2. Let's see. That is Carl. He has 45, and Finn has 58. There is one of those gunships in the mix of those ASFs, and mostly ASFs for Team 1's Finn is trying to just gesture, say, go away or I will attack you. And I think Team 2 does read that intention. There is a broadsword as well, going to try to rip through those Authams. Authams ripping through the fences. One of them dies. Maybe they'll get a triad. They'll get one triad out of the mix, but still, the Omni was the main objective. That was completed. Secondary objective of taking out a Mechs and then just wreaking havoc. But I'd like to see him take out the anti-air SAM launcher, be able to kind of create a nice exclusion zone so there's no air support. There's a couple of flat cannons down here. Would love to see more defenses here, more defensive measures, but for the time being, it's not too bad. Again, more buildup of troops in the eastern side. We see shields, we see sniper bots, we see Ilshis, we see the mostly T3 tanks, but we do see a nice mix. Would love to see lightning tanks in the mix of that. But besides that, I mean, it's a really good lineup. And it does look like the attack does commence here. Team 1 needs to brace for impact because it's going to hurt here pretty soon. We have a couple of bombers inbound, but that's not really going to do a whole lot. Again, a lightning tank would take that out very, very quickly. In the west, again, more buildup of defenses. There is a Colossus now started on that front line here for Sailor Moon. Chicken is going to be a chicken build for Team 2. No. Is Team 1 building a crab? They are building the FAF. I guess they were building a FAF boy. And then my earlier comment about the FAF boy. But not really being built. It's just sitting there. It's not really doing anything. Crab is being constructed here for Ghostly in the west. That will definitely assist in pushing that back. It is the best counter, of course, to Colossi in general because it has longer range. And those Authams are actually being pushed back by the bricks. The bricks have a little bit longer range than those Authams do. You can see they can attack at range while the Authams cannot. Engineers trying to scoop up all that reclaim before they are dealt with, or it's been grabbed by their opponents. T1 Bombers not taken out by those ASFs. Kind of weird. Doesn't matter, but Team 1 has created a nice little buffer zone for themselves as well. But it's just... stale isn't the word that I would use, but it's kind of just slow here at this stage in the game. A lot more just build up in the main bases. I don't see, again, any experimentals here for Team 2 besides the Colossus here. And that's going up not super slow, but it is taking a little bit of its time. We have a couple of artillery trying to force back the units. These units need shielding, and they don't have it. They don't have any, so it definitely hurts. T3 artillery trebuchets, a little bit singed. Oh, nope, still not singed. Kind of still hanging out. Trebuchets constantly landing on the shield emitter, trying to get through the shield capacity, but I don't think a couple of trebuchets is going to do that. The amount of time that artillery will chew through those trebuchets. It's still missing, but still. Team 1, how is your crab doing? It's over half completed, so that's definitely great. And now the FAF getting a little bit more love here. SMD is built as well to defend against any sort of nuclear missile threat. I don't see any nukes being built here for Team 2. That's an SMD. No, I don't see any sort of that threat. So again, more preventative measures more than anything else. And again, we are at +1 speed, so trying to just get the game going a little bit because again, it is a little dry. All those units have fallen back. Team 2 has successfully held this position. Colossus has been completed, and that is the first experimental built in this game. Team 1 is about to finish their crab. It's about to tick over in the orange, in the green, right about there it goes. Just took a second, and that Colossus is going to push forward. Team 1 needs to combine efforts to take this thing out. It is a huge threat to this western side. Lots of T2 mexes under threat. Lots of them not even T2. A couple of them are actually still T1 in the rear and over here. More T3 mexes in the middle of Team 1's Ghostly's base. But still, Autumn still gesturing for control on the eastern side. And that rock is still there for some reason. That's 160 mass. Not that it really matters now, but still, 150 mass. Still, it's a little chunk of mass. Why not? T2 engineer gets grabbed by that Colossus. That Colossus is pushing forward. Ghostly does have nano and gun. And of course, has overcharge as well. So easily you could take out a couple thousand hit points on that Colossus, but a huge horde of Harbingers behind it. Not the best scenario because needs to be near the Colossus to really be effective. There's some T3 Redeemers nearby as well. And that's it. Just Harbingers and Redeemers. That's all Team 2's Sailor Moon, of course, and the Colossus does have as well. But that Megalith has finished off, and I will slow it down just a little bit. T2 PD trying to be built up as fast as it can, and will do some damage. Any damage is better than no damage, but tickle cannons aren't really the best thing to use against a Colossus, that's for sure. And that crab is slowly coming into view. A lot of these units are just going to hold position while the crab comes in to close the gap, and those Authams have actually fallen back, and it does look like they will move in once again, but it doesn't look like it's really going to happen in that regard. A lot of the bricks are focusing on the Colossus first. The crab is inbound. We have some gunships as well. ASFs go in front of those gunships to protect them, and now the ASFs for Team 1 and Team 2 are engaging, and it does look like that Team 1 will gain control of the skies at a minimum, if not air dominance, because I think that has a couple of ASFs, but that's really about it. Team 1 has gained air dominance in this game. Colossus has been killed, and those Redeemers are in retreat as we speak. And those ASF need to get out of dodge. There's a couple of AA facilities nearby that are starting to singe those Wasps' backs, but and some Redeemers as well. But Team 1 did take a decent amount of hits We have, of course, just a couple of Harbingers going out for patrols, going for a couple of outlying mixes. So Team 1's orange player of Ghostly has lost a lot of mass income, but of course now has a Colossus to feed his eco. So, is it a loss? Yes. Is it a gain? Yes. Is it both? Yes. Is it bad? Is it bad? No. It's essentially a net positive here for Team 1 in that western side. One solitary broadsword now going to start being annoying here against all these Authams and sniper bots. Still no lightning tanks, and it does look like Team 2 is having some sort of power issues. Let's see how that... Oh, he looks like he's fixed it, but they will shut off for a second. He has built a chicken, and he is coming in with a lightning tank now. But those bricks are moving in, just inching forward, trying to just cut out anything and everything they can of defenses. Group of T3 broadswords now coming into play. There is some flak in there as well now. I think those were... I don't know if those were new, but they were newer. And now those look like the broadswords going after some assassination missions in the east. And ASFs guarding them with their lives. Don't probably think you need all of your ASFs guarding, but at least a decent amount of them. Team 2 does have more ASFs built in the interim. But Bricks now charging into a chicken, and now everything's going to focus on that chicken. It's dropping hit points like it's going out of style. Look at it. And all these Authams aren't even engaging. Look at all that firepower not engaging those bricks. Those bricks will be defeated before they finish off that chicken, but... you know, a lot of hit points probably could have been saved, dropping into the red, sub 15,000, and that is it. Leaves us at sub 13,000, and those broadswords now doing what the Harbingers did in the west, and just going after mass extractors. Team 1 at 900 mass income. Team 2 at 1.1, so 200 mass more than their opponents. A second chicken is online. Those look like the mass chicken production is commencing here. More Colossi are being built here by Sailor Moon. Is about to have a second one online. Team 1 only has one crab. He's working on a second one. And it does look like a satellite installation is being built by Finn to just laser from the skies. More crabs in the east as well. That one's about to finish. And a Fat Boy that has been built for, started to be constructed a long time ago. Now going to be pushing back that chicken. The chicken doesn't have a lot of hit points to waste, so needs to get out of dodge. And those broadswords now coming in and laying waste to Team 2's Hannibal O's infrastructure. Targeting the shields first, trying to take those out so they can't be used on the front line. You got to take out anything that is shooting at you. Lightning tanks and ASFs definitely are the top 2 priority in that regard. Taking out a couple of T3 mexes. Broadswords still not targeting the lightning tanks. They're just sitting under lightning tank coverage. You got to take those things out, because they are very, very annoying, and of course they are AA. Once you take those out, you don't really have to worry about anything firing at you. There's a decent amount of broadswords here, but they are being just ripped through by the lightning tanks, so gotta deal with that. The broadswords look like they're just going to be left to their own devices. Chicken has been severely wounded, and those broadswords are given the order to retreat, but I don't know if it was really worth it. I mean, you got a lot of mass points killed off, but could have easily killed off those lightning tanks very, very quickly. And actually, none of them get out of dodge. They all die off in their retreat. Colossus pushing on the western side does kill off the crab. That was definitely not the best idea, moving that crab alone. Well, it did have some support, but that's going to be a lot of scooping up. And those Harbingers immediately going to just stand on one another trying to scoop up. I want some. I want some. Look at all them. They're like, I want some. I want some. Like dogs going, or puppies going for food, all standing on top of one another. Just the crab feeding the Harbingers. Of course, there is a crab almost done, and a crab in the east, and that crab is pushing forward with his Fat Boy cousin, brother from another mother, friend. I don't know how you would call it, inner faction relationships. Don't know how that works. It's just kind of a slow time in this game as well. Again, Team 1 now pushing back in the east. There are 2 chickens. Both of them actually severely wounded. Can't really be thrown at the opponent very easily. A third chicken might be enough, but definitely not something that Team 2 wants to risk at the current moment. Drop bombers inbound going after those Colossi, and they are being taken out very quickly by anti-air emplacements and units. More broadswords coming in, trying to singe the backs on the Colossus, but honestly, it's just more ASFs that died more than anything, and the bombers as well. Don't know if that was really worth the investment for a couple thousand of hit points. needs to wait for the opponent to attack to really make it worth it. Right, of course, has been built. Second one under construction in the yellow. The fourth Colossus is in the green, so 4 Colossi here soon on the western side. And Team 1 does have another crab. It's being, walked to the west side, knowing that the east side is pretty well covered for the most part. Shield protecting a, not spider bot, but a sniper bot. That gets taken out very, very quickly. And Team 2 is severely pushed back, is taking a while to grab all those mechs just due to the occupation by Team 1. Picture noting that there is a crab and a fat boy in that mix, so don't want to charge head first. More and more engineers being funneled to this position for massive crab production. The satellite is online. Team 2 will know about it. And the push with 4 Colossi is inbound. We do see a nuke is online. Hasn't been loaded yet, but it is online. Where is that satellite? Oh, it is coming overhead here. Has killed off a couple of mexes in the interim as it's been hovering on by. Colossi aren't pushing forward. This would be a great nuke, taking out a lot of defenses. Multiple artillery installations being built for defensive measures. Second crab that will be given over very, very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised. Crabs finish simultaneously here. Those will probably be diverted to the western side. Huge amount of firepower on potentially on this western side, and maybe even have this crab be diverted southward. 3 crabs versus 4 Colossi. Honestly, as long as you can keep the Colossi at range, definitely will side with the crabs. But the Colossus will actually go in. Oh, no. They're going to go. Oh. They're going to go up into the north. Not necessarily the best environment to be in because it's more confined because of this wide range of movement. Artillery is starting to rain in. Lines of PD being established for defensive measures. Would like to see this crab handed over to Ghostly to the west for easier micromanagement. Again, those 2 chickens here in the east. I feel like a 3rd chicken needs to be built. We have artillery being built, again, for defensive measures as well against the Fat Boy at a minimum. But units aren't really pushing forward by themselves. Not a lot of them are. Of course, the Fat Boy is going to sit here and just fire at any sort of nonsense that pushes forward. I do like the scouting group of like a shield, AA, and a sniper bot, but it's just not enough to really do a whole lot. Colossus pushing northward is just receiving artillery fire. Maybe they're trying to draw in the crabs, but this line of Cerberus with brick support and more Gunthers being built as we speak. Team 1 is looking at a huge defensive line, except if Team 2 can puncture a hole of it with that nuke. And it has been loaded. Will you launch it? The order has been given, and it is going for the rear, going straight on top of that T3 air facility. The nuke has been launched. The SMD is not loaded. It was just built. And honestly, this might not necessarily be a huge mistake, but that's not going to feel good. Ghostly is going to go into the water. Hopefully he doesn't get singed by that nuke. Nuke is traveling overhead over top that pond. Oh, he should be fine. As long as he is moving more westwardly, so he should be fine. Oh, maybe not. Oh, no, he's fine. He got singed a little bit, but he's fine. T3 air facility is down. T3 land facility is down. Immediately the engineers go to rebuild those mexes. And of course, kaboom! It kill a decent amount of mass in that nuke, but I mean, it could have easily taken this out. That would have been huge. Have the forces wait for the nuke to launch and then push in. Would have been great for Team 2's front line. Team 2 Janus being used to put that megalith on fire. 3 crabs on the front line, though. That is a lot of firepower. Both of those chickens are down. Lightning, I don't think, is in range to do a whole lot. Is only going to kill off actually friendly units more than anything else. Crab being used, of course, to defend the Fat Boy. And this is not looking good here for Team 2 on this eastern side. Chicken coming in to support. Probably a little late to the party in that regard. ASF fight over the middle of the map. Team 2 does kill a lot of Team 1's ASF. Will force them back. A lot more AA are being built here for Team 2 because they know they have a deficit. 5 Colossus march the middle of the map. Nuke says Ghostly. They have spotted the nuke launcher. Team 1 does have one Novax, and I don't know what they've been... Oh, they've been going after the Erica. They've taken out some facilities in the east here against Hannibal. And it does look like with 3 crabs, that one chicken is not going to be enough. But the 5 Colossus in the middle, they're going to go straight across the map and cut into Team 1's front line on the east. This will force back the crabs in the east as well. If they don't notice this, it is not going to feel good. And here they come. They are inbound. Cerberus just tickling that Colossus. And all those archers just kind of hanging out down there. Colossus look like they've fallen back. They keep going back and forth. Maybe they're thinking that Team 1 will launch an assault in the west. Grab needs to be handed over to Ghostly so he can micro it. Finn can bring it in, but it really needs to be microed by one person. Janus over the top, probably going after the... Actually, those aren't Janus. Sorry, those are Nothas. Going after the wounded crab. Chicken is pushing forward, but with all that firepower, Chicken drops into the yellow very, very quickly, and that thing is not feeling good. Slow moving amount of firepower. Should have had it kept moving. Nope. And that fat boy is pushing forward. You need to how that fall back. It's dropping into the yellow. That fat boy will die to sniper fire. Oh, shield is recharging as we speak. It is online. Drops into 600 hit points. That's it. We have a Ilshi inbound, and Nothas inbound will take out most of the shield capacity. That is was almost deadly for that fat boy. More Nothas are inbound constantly. The shield is going to go down. Fat boy's back to 2,000 hit points. And that is it. The fat boy dies due to the Nothas. It pushed way too far forward, and for its lack of vision, it is killed off. How are those Colossus moving? Colossus in the east going after that front line. Ripped a lot of its front line defenses out. But more and more broadswords being thrown to deal with this. I mean, I don't know if it was... I mean, you took out defenses, which is nice, but you're going to drop a decent amount of mass on Team 1's doorstep. More SMDs are being built, of course, for defensive measure. This one half loaded. This one is now loaded. Let's see. Is this one... Oh, the nuke was assassinated by the Scathis. Not Scathis. Sorry, the Novax. That was... What? You're thinking like Scathis. What? I don't know why I was thinking C. It does look like there might be an artillery built here pretty soon. I don't see any sort of oh, no, there is a Duke being built here by Call. Air grid, building more chickens. Crabs are pushing into the east. There's not a lot of artillery to force them back. Again, 3 crabs is a lot of firepower. They're ripping through a lot. We have Ravagers as well. Ravager, of course, should be targeting the weakest crab. And it's just going to stomp its way. Autumn's coming in as well, but this is not looking good. Notha's coming in constantly. The ASF protecting that investment. All of those forces, besides a couple of Colossus, are being moved to the east for supplement to be able to assist in defensive measures. This could be Team 1's time to attack. Having your forces sit here and take artillery fire, not the best idea. Crab coming over the middle, taking out some Redeemers. That's not going to feel good as well. Team 2 looks like they're starting to collapse. Crab still hasn't been defeated. Has less than 100 hit points left, but it will be defeated eventually by those bombers. Harbinger's a little late to the party here in this regard. ARAS being built by Team 2's Hannibalo's Com. T2 Utashalas are being built, T2 PD, but I think they're a little late to the party. And why aren't those crabs firing? There they go. Take out the P-gens, take out the infrastructure, take out the mass. That should be the main focus. Harbinger's coming in to enclose those crabs. They're not going away, and they knew that. Chicken has been defeated. It was being built. Second crab just taking tons of shots. Again, should be focusing on the P-gens as well. Ooh, that's a nice explosion. Taking out that air grid. Takes out more and more P-gens, bankrupting Team 2's Hannibal's income in terms of mass and energy. And that's going to not feel good. Crab is about to be defeated. Laser over the top, assisting its measures as well. And Crabs both taken out almost simultaneously. A couple of P-gens still could have been taken out, but Team 2's Hannibal, how is your income? Still has energy, but doesn't have a lot. Attacking the west does commence. Not all, but 3 of the 4 Colossus have been defeated. And the Crab now focusing on the 4th one. A lot of the other units for Ghostly have been eliminated. Again, that 3rd Crab, I guess that 3rd Crab was over here. Where'd it go? Oh, it's down here. It was taken out. Should have been thrown maybe in this direction. The last grab is down. Lots of mass currently on the field still. Let's see how much currently. 400,000. So enough to make anything in the game and then some. Team 2, of course, has an artillery almost built here in the form of a Duke. We do see that emissary is coming online. They've rebuilt the Nuke as well. Team 1 has, done a serious blow to Team 2's eco, at least for Hannibalo in particular, but has left a lot of mass on their doorstep as well. More crabs are being built. A Mavor is coming online, and a Nuke as well. One is loaded. Where's the SMD to protect this thing? It is right there. It has 4 loaded as we speak. This is huge for Team 1. If this gets online, that is not great. Nuke is inbound. Where is it going? It's going actually from Team 1 to the mass, saying if I can't have the mass, no one can. But honestly, a lot of engineers were already on site and are reclaiming that mass as we speak. There's only one more Colossus left to grab and a couple of crabs. I like the initiative of trying to deny the mass, but I feel like this is a Nuke just kind of thrown at the opponent. Did take out a couple of Harbinger's engineers. Did singe that Colossus a little bit, but I don't know if it was really worth the mass killed. Only killed off 14,000. Does have another Nuke loaded as well. The Mavor is about to tick over into the green pretty soon. Where is this going? Going for this position. Gonna try to nuke the mass. At least takes out most of it. That will definitely be worth it here for him. Trying to, again, deny mass. If I can't have it, no one can. You saw that video a couple days ago where one player just constantly nuking mass, trying to prevent his opponent from grabbing it. Duke is online here for Team 2. And that emissary is almost online as well. Team 1 needs more and more of those shields to protect that Mavor. And there it goes. Kaboom! Takes out more facilities as well. Hannibalo just constantly feeling it. And what's the mass left? Only 4,000. So it took out, what was that, 11,000 roughly for each wreck. So 22,000 mass denied. Shield is lacking on the eastern side, so definitely need to look into that. But more and more emphasis is being built into shields. Love to see that. It sounds like Finn heard me from the ether. And that thing is going to finish. Team 2 hopefully knows about it. They don't know about it in particular. Maybe they think it's a artillery. Maybe they think it's something else. But they don't know about it exactly, which is huge. It's huge for Team 1. As long as they can keep that under wraps, that might just cement them to victory. Now we see... Is that emissary firing now? I think that was the emissary firing. Oh, no, it's still turning, so no, that was still the Duke. It's targeting the satellite. I think they're just targeting it because why not? Yeah, they're just targeting it. Maybe they are building a artillery is probably what they're thinking. But that Mavor is coming online, and it does not look pretty here. Again, just missing a Duke, and you have all of them paying UBF land offensive capabilities. You have the satellite, you have the Nuke, you have the Mavor. Just needs a Duke. And there goes that cannon. It is outstretching its giant artillery piece, and that is not going to feel good. Behold the, long-range sniper rifle, essentially. You can see artillery raining in here from that emissary. Crabs being moved in the distance. And there it goes. It's firing. Constantly building that Nuke. Needs more shield protection. Nuke is inbound. And the SMD is still online. Needs to probably build a secondary one just in case. The shields are collapsing around that around that SMD, and the SMD is down. The SMD is down. The Mavor, that's not going to be online for very long. Oh no. That's going to hurt. Was targeting the Duke, specifically second Duke is coming online. Oh, the shields are falling. Needs to target the shield emitters. Target the shield emitters. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And where'd the Nuke go? Oh, I probably got shot over here. Okay, I was like, wait, the SMD's down, but it does look like the Nuke came in line here, and also there's a secondary SMD over here as well. So that was definitely close. The Mavor still being shielded. The airbase is, half gone. The Nuke is not shielded. It's also volatile as well. Constantly trying to recharge the shields, constantly trying to keep them online. 2 more SMDs are being built to protect that, Mavor investment. How's the Duke situation? Well, it's not good. Shields are coming offline and online. Looks like there was some sort of attempt, maybe with some bombers. But need to take out the emitters. There we go. Taking out the emitters, the shield generators. I call them emitters because they emit the shield. But there it goes. The Dukes are down. This one, is almost finished, I think. But that's got to hurt. And actually, it's not going to feel good. Targeting SMD, it looks like here for the satellite. Team 2 needs to launch an attack, an all-out attack at this point, because the longer that Mavor stays online, the worse it's going to get. More and more shields are being built. This is not going to feel good. Probably should build some shields maybe right here and right here. The last thing you want to do is for this Stone Ager to explode and take out a bunch of your kennels, which is obviously not the best idea to put a volatile structure next to engineering stations. Not the best idea. We would not recommend, if you can avoid it. But that's Mavor is firing on the emissary. Shields are down. Oh, and there it goes in one shot. The second one was in the green as well. Team 1 definitely in the lead, but definitely has the advantage in this game. Team 2 has a nuke launcher. It's almost loaded as well. Biplanes on the west, trying to see what's going on over there, but it's not feeling good. Team 2 probably waited a little bit too long. Team 1 was building, defending, pushing. What I did like about what was Team 1's Finn was doing was pushing on the east, making it look like he was constantly attacking, distracting Team 2 long enough for him to be able to finish the Mavor. Definitely was a victory in that regard. SMD... Wait, SMD is down? Oh, the SMD is down as well. Oh, no. The Mavor is going to be killed off, but the SMD over here is being loaded as fast as it can be. Oh, it's going to be close. Nuke is inbound. It's flying over that Omni station. And that SMD, I think, will finish. The SMD, I think, will... Oh, there was a shot from the west for that SMD. Team 2 probably thought they could edge out that one, but let's see. It would have loaded in time. So definitely a sigh of relief here for Team 1. That was a very lucky couple of SMD shots. And now we have Colossus moving into the west to protect against a crab push. Bunch of bricks versus Harbingers. That is a lot of firepower. And again, ticking over into the 1 hour mark. Team 2 is starting to collapse. Again, on this eastern side, and the western side is starting to collapse as well. Colossus comes into range with its giant laser cannon, and it is not saying nice things to that crab with its face, but I don't think that Colossus is long for the world. Another one is inbound as well. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, there we go. Team 1 has facing some Colossus coming in through the water here. I was going to say, I haven't seen a lot of attacks through the water. Just that one from that crab earlier on. 2 monkeys will be able to take out one of the Colossi, but 2 more come in. Definitely not the best idea, of course, because Colossus have more hit points and just last longer, lots of DPS and whatnot. And there goes the second. Oh, there goes the second monkey. I was going to say, Colossus is going to try to push in and go for that Mavor, but 88,000 hit points is a lot to chew through. That first Colossus is dropping into the red. ASF come in to protect against any sort of ASF nonsense or any gunship nonsense, whatever you have it. Trap bomber inbound, taking out the rest of those hit points for that Colossus. There it goes. Those will be taken out by the ASS, but that Colossus is still inbound. And we do have 2 crabs coming in with a monkey, obviously, as well. That Colossus might get close. That's probably why Team 2 hasn't left yet, because they're waiting to see if that Colossus will take out the Mavor. But honestly, with the amount of DPS coming off both the crabs and the monkey, the Colossus will get close, but I don't think it'll get close enough. Maybe they want to take out the SMDs, but even if they take that out, there's still the one to the west. And, of course, more are probably going to be built in the interim. That Colossus gets kind of close. The Ravagers open fire. That's about it. Team 1 has solidified this position of the map. There's nothing going to break through unless you have a bunch of strap bombers, which Team 2 does not have. And Team 2 does recall from the game. Nobody died on Team 2, but they saw the writing on the wall and went, and it's not really worth it. GG's by both teams. And that means Team 1 wins the game with a player down. They didn't get a flawless victory, but they did get an evacuation, so I guess that's a nice little bonus in that regard. But again, in terms of MVP and MUP, well, MVP probably has to go to Finn Dean. He did a very good job. He tried to hold off the middle for a little bit. Team 2 grabbed that. and decided to just fall back and just build up in his own base. Of course, he inherited everything from Kefka, had to deal with that assault in the east. Held them off for a little bit, fell back, held them off for a little bit, pushed back. And while he was doing that, he had the Mavor being built. Team 2 was so focused on getting the mass and dealing with that. They were getting artillery online, but Team 2 just didn't have enough scouting to know that Team 1 was building that Mavor. And had they known, maybe it would have been close to taking it out. But, I mean, there wasn't as many shields, obviously, in that point in time when the Duke was finished. But definitely needed more scouting here for Team 2. Team 1 almost had a chance to lose it. They lost the SMD here. They lost the SMD here. But this SMD in the West saved Team 1's hide multiple times. This one probably would have loaded that second time that we saw that one come over. But still, that was a very close call. Ghostly did a very good job. Again, the one thing I would have pointed out for Finn, give over control of that that crab in the West to Ghostly. Maybe had that crab been there, that push to the west earlier on would have broken through. It was definitely close. There was that one Colossus left. I think it would have been enough to push that western side back. But just that's probably the one thing I'd critique for Finn. Everything else, he did a very good job. I think he deserves MVP for this game. His Mavor won the game. His satellite was nice for taking some auxiliary stuff out, taking out some of those pigeons down there. But the main the event of the game, of course, was the Mavor being built and staying online. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about the game. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And for those who did, thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate the support. I'm closing in on 1,000 every day. I get closer and closer. And again, I don't know if you'll be, I'm hoping you'll like what I do for the 1,000 sub video. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if it's super unique to do, but we'll see how everyone enjoys it. Again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And again, I will see all of you in the next one.